Hello and welcome. This is Eye on Africa and I'm Clarisse Fortuné. Coming up on the program. Mali's junta leader Assimi Goïta appoints himself defense minister after the killing of his predecessor in a wave of attacks. Growing insecurity is raising fears for trade routes and regional stability, as well as for the Malian diaspora living across the border. About 150 people are still stranded in isolation on a ship stuck off Cape Verde after local authorities barred it from docking following the death of 3 people in a suspected hantavirus outbreak. And with the 2026 Venice Biennale fast approaching, Senegal is turning gold into a powerful artistic statement. Our guest tonight is an astrophysicist and an artist. She creates environments where light, space, and matter reshape the way we see the world. Mali's junta leader Assimi Goïta is set to take on the additional role of defense minister. Mali is still facing a security crisis after a wave of attacks by Tuareg separatists and Al-Qaeda-linked jihadists. Defense Minister Sadio Camara was among those killed in a car bomb attack at his residence. The instability is also raising concern beyond Mali's borders. In neighboring Ivory Coast, home to up to 4 million Malians, fears have grown over security along the key Abidjan-Bamako trade corridor. Tensions escalated after the jihadist group, Jenim, announced a blockade restricting access to Bamako.
At this freight depot, everything is decided before departure. Along the Abidjan-Bamako corridor, nothing is officially closed. But because of the blockade by Mali jihadists, traveling to Bamako is high risk.
We took what you might call precautionary measures. We did everything necessary to ensure the situation wouldn't impact traffic. The steps we've taken are meant to anticipate any eventuality. In short, we're trying to avoid being caught off guard.
On the ground, that caution is visible. At distribution zones, some trucks remain parked. Others, despite the uncertainty, continue their journey on the road. Omar is one of those who keeps going. He returned from Bamako just hours ago and is already preparing to leave again.
I traveled from here to Bamako and had no problem on the road. It took me 3 days to get to Bamako.
Widespread concern has made its way into people's homes. At this social gathering spot, conversations have shifted. Football is no longer the main topic. People analyze the situation in Mali. This young man now begins each day with a call to his family in Mali before even meeting his friends.
My parents are in Mali. I don't know if the attacks will continue toward Wallon. I just don't know. They are worried, and that really worries me too. I'm still here to help my family. For now, because of the attacks, I want to stay here, earn money, and send it back to them.
Days after Mali's defense minister, Sadio Camara, was assassinated, the Abidjan-Bamako corridor remains open. And while movement continues, it is with greater caution.
A controversial new bill in Uganda is drawing fierce criticism. The proposed protection of sovereignty law would label foreign-funded individuals and organizations as foreign agents and carry jail terms of up to 20 years. Critics warn it mirrors Russian-style legislation used to silence dissent and could further tighten President Yoweri Museveni's grip on power after 4 decades in charge. Laurent Bersecher has the story.
It's been compared to Russia's infamous foreign agents law and has been heavily criticized across Uganda. On Monday, civil society actors once again voiced their opposition to the proposed Protection of Sovereignty Bill, which is due to be debated in Parliament next week.
I've never seen such a controversial, widely controversial, rejected bill being rushed to be debated within 2 days. The moment the Parliament sits, withdraw the bill and take it back to the cabinet.
The proposed bill would label anyone receiving money from abroad as a foreign agent. a way to preserve national sovereignty and tackle foreign interference in domestic politics, according to Uganda's government. Yet critics fear the law's deliberately vague language could be used to muzzle the opposition and crack down on freedom of speech. Others, including Uganda's central bank governor, warned it could also have a devastating impact on the economy, substantially reducing cash inflow and preventing Ugandans living abroad from sending money back home. In the streets of the capital, many residents expressed worries over the bill's potential impact on their livelihoods.
I would advise the member of parliament to stop that bill immediately, to help their people, because they are there in the parliament to support their common people.
Faced with mounting public pressure, Uganda's president said last week the law would be revised before being brought to parliament to make sure it didn't have any negative impact on the country's economic growth.
Now the countdown is underway to the 2026 Venice Biennale, which opens on Saturday. Senegalese artist Caroline Gueye is representing her country with Wurus. It's gold in Wolof, blending astrophysics, history, and sensory experience. Gueye creates environments where light, space, and matter reshape the way we see the world, and she's joining us now from Venice. Welcome, Caroline. So how would you describe, first of all, your work? And so what's your medium of choice?
Hello, yes, we're here from Venice. And so how would I describe my work? I would describe it as an experience. The visitor will have an experience, and it's all about perception, value, and position. And my favorite medium, it's difficult to answer because I like to use different things that play on perception. And I really love doing installations. That's why here we really have an installation where the visitor can walk and discover artworks, and it's really immersive. So yeah, maybe installation and what allows perception and value and questioning these things.
So is it what we might be able to see and admire about your work at the Venice Biennale? It's called a project called Wurus, which means gold. Are we going to see a lot of gold in your work?
Yes, so it's called Wurus, which is gold in Wolof. And actually, we won't see gold. There won't be any gold because it's not about gold in its materiality, but it's more in the perception and the perception of value. That's why the materials that I've been using for this installation are brass, polymer, bronze polymer, and also mirrors and light. And so it's all about perception and value, but gold is really the beginning of everything because it's something that we know, everybody knows, and also since Kankumu said, that's what I chose in the concept to start with. Gold has value and it's stable, and it's all about the perception that we give, the value that we give to things. And I thought that gold was a good starting point.
Including the value we give to gold, which is Africa's resources. So I said earlier that you have a background in astrophysics, which is quite interesting. So how does scientific thinking shape your artistic process? And so how do you approach life as well, as an artist or as a scientist?
Yes, so my physics background appears, I think, in the work more in the way I think, because I'm not trying to explain physics or astrophysics, but I really use it as a way of thinking and probably thinking differently the different topics that I work on. But the work that I present is artistic research. But as it's a background that I have, and it's many years, so then it's part of the way I think and probably the way I reorganize space, because here you see it's very architectural. It's not only the space that I use to put works on the wall, it's completely different. The work the space is like we've built walls, and I think that's how it appears in the artistic process.
And lastly, you represent Senegal. It's a big take, a big responsibility.
Yes, it's an honor and really, yes, a big responsibility to represent my country, Senegal, here at the Venice Biennale. And so I hope that everybody will like what we are presenting. And I'm proud that Senegal is present for a second consecutive time in the Venice Biennale, because we have the Dakar Biennale, which is important internationally, and now we're here also in Venice in this major contemporary art event.
Thank you very much, Caroline Gueye, and the Venice Biennale. Thank you very much and good luck. And you can admire Caroline Gueye's work at the 61st International Art Exhibition of La Biennale in Venice, that's in Italy, of course, which will run from next Saturday to November. Thank you for watching this edition of Eye on Africa.